have brought out my little, oops, I have actually brought out my little pick. So this was given to me by an absolutely wonderful person. I was given this pour pick by this wonderful person, and I am going to try out this tea. Now, what is this tea? This tea, if you are a fan of the channel and a fan of the company, then you know exactly what this tea is. It was given out to an extremely limited amount of people in the subscription service, maybe 2 years back, 3 years back, something like that. An extremely limited amount of people got to try this tea. And I think I had enough that I actually put it up on the site, but not very much of it. And what it is a a tea ball made with a really fascinating mix of well, it's one cultivar, if you want to even call it that, but what it is Camellia formosensis tea plants in the Nantou area, actually the Alishan area, that were planted by seed 7 or 8 decades ago. And the seeds are a mix between Camellia formosensis and Qinxin oolong. And so the leaves themselves, hopefully we'll be able to pull out some of the leaves of this. The leaves themselves are a mix between those two cultivars. And what that creates is an absolutely 100% unique cultivar. There's nothing like it out there. No other cultivars are even close to this, the taste. Well, obviously Qinxin is close to it, and obviously Camellia formosensis is close to it, but nothing has this sort of this 50-50 mix, the flavor sort of 50-50 mix. And they're trying to do sort of tea stuff out of it. But here we go. Now this is the tea thing. And what I'm going to do, I think, well, I had this once at the tea show, and then anyways, it's all beautiful. It's all sort of handwritten and things like this. And you can see here, you open it up and you got the tea ball in there like this. And what I'm going to do is, again, if it's okay, I only had this once at the tea show. At the tea show, it was pretty good. But if it's okay, wow, it's in there pretty well. If it's okay, what I'm going to do is, okay, here you go. So you take that out. If it's okay, if I'm going to taste it now. If it's okay, I'm going to buy a bunch of them and then get them to write Mountain Stream Teas on here. And then I don't know, maybe they could try and attempt the logo or something like that. But you can see, they take really good attention to it. And this is sort of what it is. And you can see here in the back, 2025. But what this is it's, like I said, it's this extraordinarily unique. How are the donations going? I have just heard from the Discord that somebody got a message that said one of their donations, a package of donations, might be arriving soon. And so I'm hoping that next week we can start doing more donations for the charity. But we'll just have to see how that goes. And but we'll see. We'll see. Our test donations have gone out, and we'll see how it goes. And here, so you can see here, it's wrapped in plastic, but like I said, it's all hand done, right? It's all hand done, and but it's just so beautiful. And the smell is not like any other tea. It's not like any other cultivar. It's not like any other tea, period. It's completely different. And we'll try to get the tea dust in there. But you can see sort of the look of it. It's a tea ball like this. And this is about the 6th or 7th year they've been making these. But if you actually take a look at it like this, right? So you actually take a look at the tea ball, it's really unique, right? It's really, really unique. It's, what is that? I guess it's sort of like a mid-oxidized oolong-y type of thing, but it's not, you look at it and you can't really tell exactly what it is, right? You can't really get it. So here we go. We're going to take our gifted pour pick, and we're going to go in here and we are going to pull off some of this tea. Now, how it's actually made is a mix between sort of oolong and pu'er style of making the tea. It's made into a mao cha, an unfinished tea, and then it's let sit for a while, and then it's pressed into this. And yeah, that should be enough. But I'm looking forward to trying this out. Now, usually I don't eat in the mornings, but today I just it's still, what is it? It's about 11 o'clock here in the morning, but I definitely got a handful of nuts, because when you are looking at so you can see here, it's just everything about it is just like kind of aesthetically pleasing. They do a really good job. They really do a really good job. And anyways, well, let's drink it and let's go 100% sure that this is what's going to happen with this one, and then I'm going to get some, and then they're going to be named with the Mountain Stream Teas logo, and maybe I'll have them for hopefully I can get them for right about when I open up my brick and mortar shop. But that's coming. That's coming. Knock on wood, of course. But it looks like we're going to get a brick and mortar shop soon. And so what this is, and it's the younger guy doing it now. So the grandpa did it, and then I think it, you know how these things go, usually skips over a generation, right? So I'm much more like my grandparents, my grandfathers, than I am sort of like my father in some ways. And I think my boys are much more like their grandparents than they are like me. And so that's just sort of the way it goes, us humans. And the younger son, or sorry, the son of the grandson of the grandpa who sort of planted these teas, is now the one sort of taking it over and doing it. And for him, unfortunately, and it's really annoying how these things go, but they're doing at the tea show. I didn't really talk about when I went to the tea show, but the tea show was in Chinese, Ranchi Batao, like it was all over the place. And one of the reasons why it was all over the place was because up at there was a part where they usually have the big tent. They were doing construction up there, so they moved the big tent down below, and that means all the smaller tents had to just be thrown out all over the place. And so the place where I usually go to get, these are the Camellia formosensis teas. These teas, the place where I usually go to get these was, okay, yeah, I'm going to get a bunch of these. It's going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to get, I don't know how many, 30, 40, 50 maybe, depending what the price is like. These are fun. Now that's just the first steep, not too much going on. We'll see what happens with the aftertaste. And so I didn't find this tent until like, just as I was leaving. I was like, okay, I'm done. I see some tents over there. So I walked over. I'm like, you guys are here. I just thought they didn't come this year. And yeah, the aftertaste is unique. But we'll get more into the taste as this thing opens up and keeps going. It's so unique. It's so unique. But, and this is very, very, very important, it's not unique for someone new to tea. For someone new to tea, they're not going to be able to pick out the subtle differences. But if you are somebody who is can taste the difference between a Qinxin oolong and a Qinxin oolong, sort of the classic milk oolong versus the classic high mountain oolong, then you're going to enjoy this. This is going to be a lot of fun for you, because it really is. It's like well, it's a mix between the two. It's exactly what it is. It's a mix between the two. And it's not certified organic, but it's done in the organic way. So there's no agrochemicals put on this bad boy. But they just don't have enough to bother going and getting a certification, like many of the teas that we get. So when you're looking at tea balls in general, like any of the pressed teas, the first steep usually doesn't actually have that much going on. It just doesn't. It's when you get to the second steep, the third steep, that's when you really get the really interesting stuff that's going to pop out. Yeah. Now, just things about this, right? When you're brewing it out, the color of the tea, you can see the color of the tea here. That is weird. Now it's weird If it was a roasted tea, then maybe you might get a sort of a color like this. But what you're looking at with this color is something like, what is that? That is not a normal oolong. It's not roasted at all, not a touch of roast. And so it's not a normal oolong. It's like something else completely. And you can see the brightness of it, right? Like it's super bright. Well, hopefully you can see the brightness of it, but it's super bright and sort of this gorgeous golden color. Again, planted from seeds 7 or 80 years ago. Technically a Camellia formosensis, but as any good tea nerd knows, tea plants are just like apples. So you get a red delicious apple and you take out the seed and you plant it. You have no idea what the heck is going to grow out of that. There's going to be red delicious DNA in it, but it could be Macintosh or apple or crab apple or who the heck knows what that genetics is going to pop out. And that's what this is. And they were all planted around the same time, 7 or 80 years ago. And we are lucky enough to be able to get our hands on them right now. So here we go, the second steep. Yes. I'm going to get a bunch of these. I'm going to get a bunch of these. The upfront Alishan oolong sort of lightness, a little bit of the Camellia formosensis leaf litter mixed in. Mid-mouth, pretty wide, not buttery, but it goes out far, and it's really it's smooth but a little bit chewy, right, on the mid-mouth, and it's got that bright sort of fruity floral. And then the aftertaste is extremely complex in a good way. You can literally, in the aftertaste, you can literally taste the DNA. So you can taste the DNA in the aftertaste, and you can taste the Camellia formosensis as the base level, but then playing over top of it is the Qinxin oolong florals and a touch of fruit because it's a little bit more oxidized. But the Qinxin oolong florals are sort of playing on top of that. And yeah, I'm going to get a bunch of these tea balls, and I am going to have fun with them. We'll put them in the shop. But yeah, that's basically all I want to do. Jump in and do a quick live stream with this. What's going on with everything? Nothing has changed in the places where we can't send tea. So the United States and other places. The United States donations, gifts should be arriving relatively soon, and we'll see how that goes. It should be fine. And then next week we'll start dealing with donations. Like I said before, with the government in the United States sort of locked down, shut down, there's not much we can do. I highly doubt things will open up before then, but I'm aiming for like sort of a mid-November, late November type of opening up for shipping again. And I find it quite fascinating. Anyways, nobody cares about that. We're talking about tea, but it's really fascinating to watch everything happen. It really is. It's fascinating to watch everything happen all around. But here in Taiwan, it's nice and calm and quiet, and let's hope it stays that way. Let's hope it stays that way. Let's hope it stays nice and calm and quiet, and whatever else. Now, take a look at this color. I hope you guys can see it. I hope you guys can see it. But take a look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's just so beautiful. Right? It's so golden, and it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Now it's 11 o'clock. You can see I'm sweating a bit. I'm sweating a bit because we've had a summer for a very long time this year. But I'm actually hoping that by the new year, I'll have like a studio, and I can come out here and do tea in the back with this background every once in a while. But I think I might actually have like a place to put in a real studio, which would be kind of fun. maybe get guests and things like that. But there's a lot of people that have tried the tea interview route, and no one has come anywhere close to being successful, which I find interesting, quite fascinating. But yeah, so there's sort of like for Mountain Stream Teas and what's going on here, there's a lot of stuff going all over the place, but we're definitely going to be turning sort of inward a little bit more. So before it was all sort of going out, I didn't do anything in Mandarin Chinese, everything was just sort of outward facing. And now, knowing this for many years, I probably should have started before, but everything seems to be lining up in a nice way right now. We're going to start sort of going in and doing the circle. So more local Taiwanese market mixed with the international market and making it really kind of fun, which is going to be really interesting and really fun to explore. And this, yeah, I'm going to invest some money in this because it really is. It's really special. It really is. And it's not. Last year I didn't buy it. Now, why didn't I buy this tea last year? Simply because it wasn't good enough for me. That's a horrible thing to say, but when I put a tea on the site, that's basically my name. I always chafe when people say, "Oh, your tea." It's not my tea, right? I don't make the tea. I curate the tea. I go and find the tea, and I get tea from my friends. And so, that's what I do. But it's not my tea. But if I'm going to bring it in, it really is sort of. It's got the Mountain Stream Tea's name on it, which is basically me. And so I have to make sure that it meets a certain standard. And it's not like the tea last year was bad. It was just that in general, it was not a very good year. And so number one, it wasn't a very good year. And number two, they did. It's so funny. As I get further into this, I'm realizing my influence grows and grows. But they did a little bit of a lighter oxidization on it. And because they did a lighter oxidization, it was too much like a normal oolong. There was nothing special to it, right? Like right now in my mouth, I can feel this uniqueness, this unique aftertaste that is this. It's basically a 50-50 mix between Camellia formosensis and Camellia sinensis. Specifically the Qinxin oolong. Excuse me. Talking too much and drinking at the same time. I'm hoping the fancy microphone doesn't get too much of that cough in there for you. I apologize for that. But it's awesome and something special. And last year I said, I can't do it, man. I just can't do it. It's just too much like a regular oolong. And this year he did more oxidization. Hey, man, how's it going? And so he did more oxidization this year. And I'm going to try and buy up. I think I'm going to try and buy up everything he's got. That's what I think I'm going to try and do. And we'll put the Mountain Stream Teas on it and everything. Because it is. I was going to say perfect mix, but there's no such thing. No such thing when it comes to tea. But it is certainly an amazing mix, a wonderful mix, a great mix between the Camellia formosensis, again, which is the wild tea. It's called shancha. They call it mountain tea. The indigenous tea in Taiwan, mixed with Camellia sinensis, which is the Chinese tea, which was imported in various stages and various waves between 200 and 150, 100 different stages as it came through. In the Alishan region, it was maybe like 100 years ago, a little bit, 120 years ago. And so when this was planted, it was planted with the mountain tea, the indigenous unique tea plant, but the seeds had an admixture of the Chinese tea. So it's a mix between the two. You're going to have a Chinese company name too, Shanxi Cha. Well, I'm going to have to do that. But here's the problem. My Chinese name or the Chinese name of the company is actually Hualien Huai, because I ran which means Hualien Outdoors, because I ran a outdoor company where I was doing guiding for 10 years as I was doing this, and I moved over to this. So the English name of the company is Mountain Stream Teas, but the Chinese name of the company is Hualien Huai or Hualien Outdoors. And so I might have to change the name of the company to this, depending on all the crazy crap that happens with, all the taxes and all those things. I think it should be fine. I think I can just translate the Chinese name to Shanxi Cha, which again sounds like I talked about this the last live stream, which absolutely sounds like a white guy's tea company, right? I mean, the connotation of Shanxi Cha is like Taiwanese persons just roll their eyes and go, "Oh, white guy," That's, anyways. It works in English. It doesn't work quite as well in Chinese, but it helps with the branding, because people won't get confused as to who the owner is and what the style of the tea company is. The tea is this tea ball, and 2 years ago I've had this tea ball for the subscription. I think I did release a little bit of it, but I didn't have very much of it. I bought all they had, but they didn't have very much left. But you can see that's the tea ball there, and I think I'm going to buy everything they got left. And actually, as soon as I shut this down, I'm going to go talk to them right now. And but this tea ball, I'm going to have it made and get them to write calligraphy with the Mountain Stream Teas on it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just beautiful. Just a beautiful tea. With the Chinese name, you should wear a Chinese outfit and go by Sifu. Well, I think that's been done. And Mr. Marco there, I think I think that market has had its day. Now there might be still some people who are into that market, but white guys with Chinese names sitting in the lotus position, masturbatorily talking about their life and their way of making tea. I think those days are gone. I think those days are, well, I mean, there's always going to be a niche for that, but I don't know. The point is, I don't know whether that's going to be a growth market. I think people have sort of seen what happens. Joanne, come on, I could do it. I could pull it off. Like I could talk about how wonderful everything is, and how anybody who drinks any other type of tea is a fool. And but no, I wouldn't say they were a fool. I'd imply they were a fool, and how negativity is bad. Anyways, the point is that those days are gone, and thankfully I hope they don't come back. Not to say that there is not a place for that. Tea and meditation are amazing. They go together so well. I do it myself. But the translation between East and West, tea culture, meditation, Taoism mixed with Buddhism, all these things, there's too many pitfalls that I think defining a commercial brand on that stuff is really, really tough. If you're monetizing spirituality, you're monetizing your connection with God, you're doing it wrong. Just my personal opinion. And tea is absolutely an amazing connection with stillness, with meditation, with being able to concentrate, with all of those things. It's amazing. It is a bridge and a gateway. It's one of the reasons why we drink it. That's one of the reasons why we do, the Gong Fu method and all these different styles of making tea. It's amazing. It is spectacular, but it's personal. And if you monetize that, the pitfalls for that are just too large, right? I don't think human beings are built for that type of stuff. I don't think we're built for monetizing a direct connection to the divine.